coming to Jesus and, even reading the scripture when Jesus was telling his disciples and those that were listening about counting the cost to follow him. And Jesus was upfront about what it would cost you to follow him. And one of the scriptures in particular, when he tells us to, if you're going to be my disciple, you must deny yourself, bear your cross. And we understand the cross is a symbol of death and dying. So that's not something easy, because we're not coming from carnality into living by the Spirit. We're used to doing what we want to do, but coming to the Lord and understanding not only your life being changed for the better, but also knowing that you're going to lose people, you're going to lose things, you're going to lose relationships, and even with family members. And that's something that I encountered when the Lord began to open my eyes, me and my wife's eyes, more and more to his truth of his word. And, I was a youth minister in my father's ministry for about 2 years, almost 3 years. And there were a lot of things that me and my wife experienced, a lot of things that we saw, a lot of things that were taught and spoken that were not true and was not biblical. And when God started opening my eyes to his truth, I knew I had to say something. I knew I had to confront him. And no, it was not easy. It was not comfortable. But there was a particular time where, we were going into our Bible study, and the Lord told me to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And because at that moment I was getting ready to share some of the truth that God was revealing to me and that I had studied. And I knew it wouldn't necessarily be received because of things that were taught there. But when God led us to leave my father's ministry, and I shared with him that what was going on and what was being taught, I was like, it's not true. And there, we can no longer come back. And the Lord had me to confront him not once, but multiple times concerning just who he said he was and concerning what he was teaching. And me being the son, it was not easy because, I wanted a relationship with my father, even though I didn't necessarily have it. But I loved the Lord more to lose that relationship. And when I came to the Lord at 17, I told the Lord I would serve him until I die. And I meant what I said. And I know the Lord was going to hold me to what I said. So I didn't want to take that lightly, and understanding more of his word, understanding more of who he is. To have God is to have everything. And understanding that we will face many hardships, as it tells us in Acts, that you will go through many hardships to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So understanding that and not trying to shy away from the difficulties that will come from truly following Christ, but understanding the blessing on the other side of the hardship. And even in the midst of the hardship, receiving his truth, receiving his wisdom, receiving his love, receiving his spirit to enable us to live a life holy and pleasing unto him, cannot be weighed. There's no comparison, because the Lord is the giver of life. The Lord created us, and he has everything we need. He is everything we need. So without him, we have nothing. So to lose everything, but to gain everything. Because what I lost, as Paul said, I consider as dung. Because everything that we see is temporary anyway on this earth. It's not going to last. So I didn't want to allow any relationship that I have to stop me from truly walking in who God has called me to be. So counting up the cost will cost you something. But don't look at what you're losing. Look at what you're gaining. Because to gain the Lord is to gain everything.